Hi, this is Bill Citro, and on behalf of Group 3, I'm excited to give you our performance management intervention. We've noticed some problems here at Brain Lab and are excited to share with you our recommendations to improve those. At Brain Lab, we were founded in 1989 in Munich, Germany, and we are first and foremost a software company. When you think about surgeons all over the world in operating rooms, chances are, if they're doing a high level surgery that involves something minimally invasive or oncologic or radiologic, there's a good chance that our software or hardware may be involved. We provide applications from positioning and radiosurgery treatments to software guided surgical navigation, and we also process everything on the back end as far as the images, getting them linked up with the patient record and whatnot. You can kind of see below some of the images that are neat regarding what we do. The best way to kind of think of it in layman's terms is the imaging of the patient is seen in real time by the physician, so they can see what they're working on and what's happening, whether they're injecting chemotherapy or any other specific intervention that the physician is performing on the patient. So the problem we've been facing recently is that we have decreasing key performance indicators. Specifically, our mean time to solve, which is basically the time from our some time that customer files a complaint or a service issue to when we say yes, it's done, it's resolved, and that is increased from 8.5 days to 11 days. So we're taking a little bit longer to resolve these issues, and that's of course led to our customers being less satisfied with us. They used to about 6 months ago said we were at about an 8.5. Now we're down at about a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. So these things are obviously leading to some problems. We're having you know, basically we make a lot of our money, and a lot of our profit margin is built into when customers purchase upgrades to our systems or service contracts with us, and less than half of our highly satisfied customers are half as likely um, to purchase these upgrades or service contracts with us. And our marketing department tells us that on average, one satisfied customer shares their negative experience with 5 or more colleagues. This obviously is bad when we're talking about surgeons talking to other surgeons about our products. They rate their colleagues' opinions very highly, and that can quickly lead to bad things for our sales and revenue. Longer system downtime leads to longer waiting time for patients, and that's what surgeons are concerned about as well. Is if they have a patient that they need to operate on and they can't because our equipment is not ready to go, that's a big problem, and it obviously dissatisfies patients too, as theirs. You can kind of look at them as the ultimate customer. And the negative reviews do affect our team morale, and when our team here doesn't hears that we're not meeting expectations, that people aren't happy with us, that obviously tends to circulate around the office, and our team isn't feeling so good about the work they do every day. So, to improve this situation, we are recommending a 3-tier process with early stages, goal setting. So, where do we want to see? What do we want to see happen? Um, Getting some feedback from our employees on what's going on, and then moving into the middle stages, we want to implement some of those interventions, and then in the late stages, we want to assess what has happened, what's happened with the numbers, and what do we do next. So, um, we're recommending some pretty aggressive goals here, just because we want to make sure that if we meet them, we are doing even better than we were doing before, because our goal should always be to improve. And even if we don't quite meet these goals, we should still be pretty close to where we were prior to some of these key performance indicators decreasing. So we want to have the mean time to solve be 8 days or less, and increase customer satisfaction so that people are rating us at least 9 out of 10 on average. And then we also, third metric, which I'll talk about a little bit more, is reducing some errors that we come across by about 25%. And we want to do this in a 6-month time frame, measurement-wise, that is. We're not quite sure why these delays are, what they're caused by, the root cause. But we're thinking two obvious things kind of jump out. The lack of training. So we've launched a lot of new products, and our customer service and technical repair staff are not necessarily trained on those as well as they probably could or should be. And to kind of go along with that, we have a lot of outdated support materials, which are probably not helping our staff accomplish the system repairs as quickly as they should. And we also want to conduct focus groups in this beginning action plan step, where we're going to have 2 cross-functional groups, one larger, which would include sort of everyone in a cross-section of the organization, get a broad swath of opinion on what's going on, and then one smaller, really focused on the customer service staff, to really drill down into what they think the issues are and make sure we're not missing anything in our assessment that we're presenting here today. And we want these groups to be moderated by a consultant, not someone inside BrainLab, because people aren't just going to be as willing to share honest opinions about what's going on if they think that somebody is going to be judging them, or it's going to hurt a future working relationship. So the first intervention that we're going to implement is training. We've had many new products recently, really, all within a tight time frame, and we think employees just haven't got their hands on these new products and services yet. So we think training is going to speed up the curve. We hope that typically the learning curve will decrease over time, but we're hoping we see a huge bump here with this training. It's really expensive in comparison to the products and services we sell, so we see this as really a no-brainer and something that will be an investment in time well spent as well. And we plan to do this outside normal business hours, so there's no loss of revenue or further decrease in service. For our action plan, we also need to reduce errors. So we have paperwork errors that come from FDA regulations called Good Manufacturing Practices, and what if we cut down on these errors, the outcome will be that we'll spend less time putting out the fires that come when we don't dot our I's and cross our T's, and more time focused on the good service. So we think this is sort of a hidden problem that would allow us to improve our service. And it has been we really think that most of these errors are due to a lack of emphasis by management, and some managers have tried coercive interventions, such as saying, if you have 3 or more of these errors in a year, you're fired. We decided to take a different approach and make management accountable for this at a team level, is what we're recommending. And so that way employees also feel like this isn't all on them. Managers have some skin in the game here as well to improve and performance. So with our incentive structure to make this happen, currently neither of the KPIs are considered for bonuses or raises. That has to change. So yearly reviews at a minimum. We also need to ask employees in the focus groups if they feel like they have any other ideas. Right now we want to make this a cost neutral proposition. However, in the future, if we see the results we want, we should consider small bonuses, celebrations, or any, like I said, other ideas employees have. So to summarize, and our final step in our action plan would be to assess what our interventions have been able to accomplish. So 6 months after the training has occurred and we've implemented sort of the management has had a chance to talk to their employees about how the incentives will be worked into their yearly reviews. We're going to see what happens to the numbers. And if we don't meet our goals, then we need to employ more interventions. Go back to the focus group, see what employees had, maybe throw a little more money at it in terms of raises or bonuses. Um, if we meet the goals or we come close or pretty close, we should continue to monitor that, make sure it continues to rise, identify any micro trends that may cause us to further intervene or allocate resources differently. And then we should, if we exceed the goals, obviously we're just going to stay the course. If we also want to continue to get employee feedback even after the 6 months, and we want to do that through employee surveys. So we're hitting each person individually, and we're able to drill down and say, okay, this department feels this way about these changes we've made, and this is how they feel things are going. We also need to be very cognizant about communicating to employees these results very shortly after we have them and we've had a time as a management team to look at them, because employees need to see those results so they own them and they know how things are going. Follow up is key with this. So that's our plan, and we're very confident in it. And thank you for listening to this presentation.